Semi-finals and go on to win the final this time around. Thank you so much, guys, for your tweets coming through. And of course, you can keep those coming in. We'll try and read as many as we can throughout the course of the show this morning. Moving on now, though, into our interview. Now, professional sportsmen spend a good time of their high-performance environments, rather. And with that normally comes a great reward. Now, life after sport has proven to be challenging for some, and there are programs which are being designed to help professional sportsmen cope with life after their professional careers. And in studio with me, ladies and gentlemen, we have the legendary Lucas Radebe. Hey, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us on Sports and Morning Live.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for having me.
And in case you didn't know, he can also be a goalkeeper if required. I remember that.
That's how I started.
I was young.
My career. Oh,
I was young. But I've seen some of that footage, and I've seen you having to step into that goalkeeper post for Leeds. But let's talk about some of the challenges you think athletes come across once they hang up their boots or their tennis rackets or whatever sporting coat they play in, and how you think we can better help maneuver these challenges so we don't get to a point where we say so-and-so has now left us, but they had nothing.
Yeah, that's one thing that a professional athlete dreads. You know, retirement. You know, after so many years in sport or in playing whatever sporting court professionally, the last thing you think about is what to do post that career, and it's been a challenging one. And the great thing is that we've got, you know, brands like Betway, you know, who came up with a fantastic program where it upskill and empower ex-professionals, you know, to reinvent themselves, you know, in today's world, you know, and try and rebrand themselves with the it's a Betway 12thMan program that we've started, and got great professional, great names, household names that have really done well in their careers.
And that's how you're just trying to help them find their feet post-playing days?
Yeah. They're going through the classes. And
you're going through the classes? You were telling me you have to wake up very early in the morning.
I had to go back to school. I have to sit behind the desk, you know, at my age. But I think when you realize that, you know, you got to get back into a living, you know, for yourself, because it's very difficult if you're not prepared or for that time when you got more responsibility, you know. But programs like this come in very handy, where, you know, you'll be lectured by different experts, you know, in different topics, which is absolutely amazing for me. And I think this is a great opportunity, you know, for ex-professionals, you know, to do that, you know. And for me, the great thing is that, you know, those who raise their hands, like Benedict Villagazi, you know, the boxer, Eki Butler, they raise their hands to say, you know, I do want to reinvent, you know, and rebrand myself post my game, because obviously, you know, you find yourself isolated, you find yourself, you know, alone, because it can get very lonely, you know, post a career.
Indeed. Now, something else I want to talk to you about, as you can see, of course, the official Euros 2024 ball and boot is the Euros. Have you had an opportunity to watch some of the games? What do you make of what you've been able to see so far?
No, it's been brilliant. I think there's a lot of football being played this year. I mean, I think, but what's good is that to see, you know, that the players are still up and fit and able to compete at that level. I mean, in such games, I mean, I was watching Spain yesterday.
Spain, Italy, that Spanish side.
It's fantastic games, but, you know, the quality of the players, you know, performing at that level, you know, it's absolutely amazing. And to be honest, I mean, you look at it and you're thinking about who will be the favorites. You know, my man, there's great teams there like Slovenia, Slovakia, who are not there just to add numbers.
Add
but,
numbers, yeah,
you know,
to compete.
To compete, which is great to see.
So let me put you let me put your head on the block. You say there are favourites that people think will win this tournament. We already know who the defending champions are, being Italy. Who's your money on to go all the way?
I think for me, I mean, I was impressed with how Spain played yesterday. You know, I think they're absolutely brilliant. England, I don't know about the English.
England, neither
but
here nor there.
They did well, but, you know, it's difficult sometimes to predict, but I think, I mean, we've got the big names, obviously. Possibly it's coming home again.
It's been coming home for a very long time.
For a long time, since '66. but I believe, I think between Spain, possibly.
Spain to go
England,
all the way and lift the trophy. I want to bring in another element as well, because I don't think we can ever have the Euros where we don't hear some comparisons being made about which tournament is better in terms of the level of football on the field of play, in terms of the flair. Euros versus AFCON.
Ooh. No, but I believe that with the skill, you know, and the flair that African players have, I think AFCON has been absolutely brilliant. I think we've seen how exciting it was and how actually this time it was absolutely massive. I mean, with a great following, and I think one of the most successful AFCON we've had, you know, and it's and I think for me, you look at the players that are competing in the AFCON, they're doing absolutely well in their teams in Europe, and they bring it up to Africa. I mean, it's lighting up the stage at the moment.
Absolutely it is. And as we touch on African football, I have to come back locally to South Africa. Your former team, Kaizer Chiefs, they seem to be a team that has somewhat struggled to shift gears. Talk to me about the pressure of expectation for playing for such a big team like Kaizer Chiefs, and how that pressure sometimes does get to the players and even the coaches.
Yeah, I think when a big club like that, you know, hit that dip, you know, it gets difficult, because it's a club that has so much expectations, that have done so well, you know, in many years. It's a big brand, you know, and I think, yes, the expectations from the fans, the expectations from everyone is to see Kaizer Chiefs consistently, you know, at the high, you know, top three locally in the league. But for now, with that much pressure, it depends on the coaches. We look at the coaches and thinking, you know, is he doing a good work? Because that's, unfortunately, that's how he's been judged with the results. And then look at the players as well to see if this is the right team. But I think with the acquisition of Nabi, you know, as a experienced and well-known coach in Africa, I think they show the intention of coming back and bringing those glory days back, you know, to the homes of the fans again.
So you think the glory days are coming back in the next season?
Yeah, I think so. I think Kaizer Chiefs is a good team that can come back stronger than before, you know. And yes, I think with the players that will acquire, well, they'll be acquired, you know, for the next season. I think they would have known what they're getting themselves into, and I think with Nabi at the helm, I think he is going to make sure that, you know, there's trophies, you know, in Naturena.
And people always say for the league to be exciting, you need a Kaizer Chiefs that's performing well. You need a Orlando Pirates that's performing well to just continue putting that pressure on Mamelodi Sundowns in terms of what they've been able to do in the league. I mean, we know of late Orlando Pirates have been the cup specialists in South Africa.
No, absolutely. I think... I mean, not just the league, but for the national team to succeed,
Indeed.
you know, and we need those big clubs, you know, to produce. And yes, it's been a bit of a disappointment, and we've seen Sundowns taking advantage and acquiring. I mean, I don't know whether, you know, the money that was thrown to the club is make such a huge difference. But obviously, you know, to be successful, you need the quality that will compete and compete consistently, you know, at that level like Sundowns has done. And we see now Pirates coming up and trying to make things different, you know, just to knock off Sundowns at the top. And I think Kaizer Chiefs will do the same again. You know, and I think next season is going to be exciting, You know, I think everybody will be waiting to see what Nabi has in his back pocket, you know, and who he brings, you know, to the fore to come and compete for such a great club.
Indeed. You've already touched on Bafana Bafana. I want to get, as we wrap up this interview, your thoughts on what Coach Hugo Bruce has been able to do with this Bafana Bafana side. We saw what they did at AFCON, currently in the qualifiers. They're sitting second in that group, and of course, more matches will be played in 2025. What do you make of Coach Hugo Bruce and what he's been able to do to revive this Bafana team and the love for football and the national team? I mean, Bloemfontein was insane when they played that qualifier against Zimbabwe.
Now we're looking forward to the World Cup.
2026.
You know, 2026. I mean, I think the progress has been absolutely brilliant. He's been very patient with the squad, and we've seen, you know, players gaining consistency in the lineup, actually, you know, which I think now it becomes clear and it becomes popular to us to know the names of the players from number 1 to number 11, which what we need to do. You know, we don't just need results, but we need to play well in order to get proper results. And I think where we're sitting at the moment, I think Hugo Bruce has been such a great revelation for us, and where we're sitting, we are really looking forward for the next game, which is a big one, and hopefully qualify.
We are crossing fingers that South Africa will qualify. Thank you so much. It's so lovely having you. You're one of those people, when we get in here, we need to touch on as many points as possible. But ladies and gentlemen, it is Lucas Rue, the Chief Radebe, joining us right here on Morning Live, talking all things of football and what life looks like.